Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Coon Rapids Ice Center for CTN's live coverage of the boys hockey season opener for the Coon Rapids Cardinals as they host the Rogers Royals. Joe Young and Howie Shapiro up above the action, and Howie excited to get the season underway.
Yeah, no question about it. Get a chance to see the boys here for the first time, and I know they're excited to get their season underway. You know, you can scrimmage, you can practice, but until you get in live action, you don't know what you have.
Yeah, Rogers comes in. They've already got a game under their belt, and they come in trying to correct some things.
Yeah, no question about it. They Coach Weiss, John told me, he said didn't like a lot of the things they did. They had a penalty shot they missed. They had to skate 3-on-5 twice during that game, and they're looking, as you said, to correct some things. They're young. They're trying to learn their systems as well.
And for the Cardinals coming in, it'll be their first chance to really see what they have to work with this season. They lost some talent, but they return a fair amount of varsity players. They got a new netminder. That's the biggest change. Ty Hansen had locked down the net for the last couple of seasons for the Cardinals. And they're dealing with a couple of injuries right away to start the season.
They are, and again, you know, Coach Mo said we'll see what we have, and they've got a couple players that they'd like to get back on the ice sooner rather than later. Michael Crosby comes back, from last year's team as an offensive opportunity for them, and he's one of the players that's going to lead them this season as well.
And on the flip side, Rogers comes in, only got one goal that coming in the second period, I believe, of the game against Rogers, a 4-1 loss.
Aaron Schmidt, yeah, he did have that one goal, and like Coach Weiss-John said, we just didn't play good hockey that night. But he said there's, this time of the year, they'd like to be working on their systems. They'd like to be getting some things implemented, but they've got games in the way, so they can't always get to that type of practice time. But he'll see again here in game number 2. Yeah,
the Cardinals' biggest strength is probably going to be their defense early on. They were turn a number of blue liners with some size at the back end. Michael Crosby, as you mentioned, really the only offensive weapon they returned from last season.
Yeah, so I mean, again, Coach Mo said we'll see what we have. He knows from throughout the summer kind of what they've been building towards. But Michael Crosby, as we talked about, an opportunity for him to lead the way offensively. There's a number of other players that will also contribute, but you're right, works from the back forward.
Well, and Crosby, I think, finished third or fourth on the team in scoring. Tyler George will certainly be one to watch this year as well. Big, strong, athletic kid, and he can make some things happen on the offensive end. We'll see what the Cardinals have to offer in opening night. The Cardinals and the Royals take the ice next on CTN. Back at the Crick and just about ready to drop the puck on the 2017-18 Cardinal varsity season as they host the Rogers Royals.
Head coach Todd Weiss-John, I talked to him, I said, what's your number one key tonight? And he says, we really need to get on the board quick. We want to put a little pressure on Coon Rapids. We want to find a way to score first and get that early lead. And we'll see how this game unfolds, if that happens that way. And then Coach Mo, we talked earlier too, he thinks that he's got some opportunity, especially as you talked about, defense should be okay. We'll see, and I think that they're looking for scoring as well, quite obviously, but we'll see as this game unfolds.
Take a quick look at your starting lineups. Gruden, Tim, and Beecham up front with Becker and Bauer on the blue line for Rogers. Nate Johnston, the starting netminder. Pieri between George and Crosby for the Cardinals. Van Holzen and Ammon. The defenseman, Andrew Archeros, the starting netminder. Becker able to send it in for Rogers. Played around by Crosby. Bumped off it is George. Played back into the corner. Ammon had it swept off his stick. Turnaround shot from a short angle by Beecham, and Argeros able to catch it and hold on for the faceoff.
You know, the Rogers squad lost 4-1 to Anoka in their opening match in a game that they didn't play the way they wanted to get that first shot on goal of the evening.
Well, Argeros not a very big netminder, so when he's down to the butterfly, leaves some room open, but able to close the door as Beecham tried to sneak it underneath his arm. This one heads out of play, and a face-off coming back to the right of Argeros. Awesome mask.
Yeah, you were talking about that before.
Andrew Argeros. Saw that when we came to the previews. Got a cardinal on one side, the CR logo on the other, the angry bird on the back. Dump attempt for Keaton Anderson, just not able to get there quite fast enough to avoid icing.
Yeah, you see part of that mask. I like the angry bird on the back.
Well, and apparently there's a picture of the arena in the background as well, so
pretty cool.
Very cool. Mahaffey's pinched off it, continues to battle, has it back for the Cardinals, able to spin back into the corner, flips it off the glass, knocked down with a hand by Luke Nelson. Shot misses well wide, played back to the point by Jensen, interrupted and sent back to him. He plays it for Bolster, who sends it in behind, where Mahaffey will sweep it along for Coon Rapids, trying to break out. He got away, got kept in by Bolster, and now played back out of the zone all the way down. An opportunity, but the stick lifted for McKenna as he had an opportunity coming in on the left wing. High floater out to center, kicks away from Nicholas, able to regain control, poke it around the attack but from Aaron Schmidt, get it cross center and play it into the zone. Puck comes free, and with it is Schaefer. Schaefer into the zone, lost the handle. Falling all over, but keeping the puck ahead of him is Luke Edstrom. He's going to come out of the scrum with it. He's bumped in front of the penalty box, knocked off the play, and it's sent back in, or attempted to be sent back in by Bauer. Played it into the Cardinal bench instead.
You know, always opening night jitters, you know, for the home team here, and it's it's this first live action. You see what you have on the ice and get that first skate under your belt. Get those jitters behind you. Royals
able to win the draw, bring it in. A little backhander by Schmidt, kicked away by Argeros. Knapp with it for the Cardinals. Tried to float it across for Fladibo, but that was broken up, and now Rogers at their own blue line. Becker lost the handle, entering the zone. Ammon turns it around, played across, but right to the stick of Aaron Schmidt. He'll send it back in on Argeros. Nicholas will dump it in behind where Ammon waits behind the net. Poked off his stick, and now played all the way out. Crosby behind the defense, in on the breakaway shot, and a goal. Just like that, Crosby came off the bench. The Royals did not pick him up on the change. Tyler George fires the pass, finds him behind. The jailbreak is successful, and the Cardinals are on the board first.
Yeah, nice job putting the puck on his stick, and Crosby with no defense there. You're going to see it again as he gets in front of that defense, puts it behind Johnston for the first goal of the season for Coon Rapids, and a nice way for them to take that opening lead.
Play it right back in deep. Pierre giving chase, now playing around to the near side. Ammon flips it back in on the backhand. George controls momentarily, skipped away from him. Grudem recovers for Rogers. Grudem back deep in his own end, plays it near side for Becker. Bauer rather plays it in deep. Van Holzen back behind for Ammon, back to Van Holzen. Too much on it for him. Kept in far side by Becker. Centering attempt by Beecham was broken up. Van Holzen taken into the boards. Here's Tyler George. Tried to send it ahead, stopped up by Becker. Waits for the line to clear, plays it in where Argyros can scoop it up and hold for the face-off.
Yeah, just bounced into his glove. Well, nice way for Coon Rapids to start the season, Joe, and get that breakaway goal early in this first period.
Tie up off the draw, quick shot attempt by Levis goes wide, played back behind. Recovered by Lackinen for the Cardinals. His pass interrupted there by Bolster. Bolster behind the net. Trying to center, stopped up by Argyros. Hacked at and broken free by Anderson. Cardinals able to get it out to center. This is McKenna trying to get around the corner. He's ridden in by Ben Johnson for Rogers. Played around far side, waiting there for it is Erickson. He sends it back in around. And now right back behind the net from Lackinen. Bolster leaves it off. Streeter tried to turn it back into the corner. Tied up down low, poked free. Coming away with it is Jensen, and he tried to wing it around. It ended up going up over the glass into the netting, and that'll get us face-off in the Rogers zone.
Well, Coach Wiestjot said we don't want to fall behind here tonight, and they have here early on. Just a 1-0 deficit, but Coon Rapids looking to see if they can apply some more pressure.
Becker excused from the faceoff dot. Schmidt will take over. Tie up, poke toward the front. Shot and a goal. It was Jake Jensen poking it home. Knapp was forcing it toward the net. Got knocked off his stick, and Jensen able to fire it between the pads on Johnston. Look at the right roster. Jeremiah Simonson getting the goal.
Well, you know, and again, just, you know, when you poke the puck at the net, you get that rebound, good things happen. Simonson able to put it past Johnston, and the Cardinals take that 2-0 lead and putting Rogers in the hole.
Becker ahead for Schaefer into the zone. Schaefer is shot, stick save by Argyros. Far side, Schmidt pressuring, plays it back in deep. Good seal there by Edstrom. Puck ends up and out of play.
Knapp and Fladibo on the assists on that Simonson goal.
Beecham trying to jump the gun on the near side. And then tried to hold up and ended up a little bit of a wholesale yard sale in the face-off dot. Much to the amusement of the home crowd. Bouncing puck gets through, turned around, in with numbers. Played off the post by Grudem. Nicholas looking for a passing lane, gets it ahead to Tyler George. George through center, and will play it in deep as he stood up there by Mitch Baker. Behind the net for Rogers is Bauer, gets it to the line and out, played right back in by Ammon. Tyler George ran over Beecham, and Beecham not happy about it, right in front of the official. Opportunity for Becker goes high and wide. Cardinals can't control it off the board, now poked free. Scooped up by Anderson, his pass doesn't click all the way down. This will icing waved off though, as it's played back for Becker in the near corner. Becker back in behind. Able to move it ahead, back to the near side for Jensen. Jensen trying to wheel it out front. A loose puck, still free. Knocked down and finally controlled there by McKenna. McKenna can't get it out of the zone, though. And we've got a hand pass. And a little bit of extracurricular activity over on the far side.
A couple players jawing at each other. And again, good job by Rogers to put a little pressure in on the Cardinal net. Jaros able to get a piece of the puck, clear it wide.
Quick breakout for Rogers, flying down the near side. Levis out front, one-timer stopped up by Argyros. Another chance sent out front by Jensen, and it's stopped up again by Argyros. Here's Jensen again. From a ways out, stick save up into the netting. And a face-off in the Coon Rapids zone.
Oh, the Royals continue to put pressure in on Coon Rapids net. And they've done a nice job of beating the defense to the puck. Good pass across, just right in on net.
With numbers and speed. And Argyros up to the challenge. Rogers holding the edge in shots, 7-3, but outdone on the scoreboard by a 2-0 margin early on. Lakinen's pass through the middle didn't click. Turned right back into the zone by Rogers. Knapp can't get that pass through. Lakinen sends it ahead. Gets into the zone. A quick shot by Fladibo turned away. Becker with it in the far corner. He's bumped but maintains control behind the net. And now we'll flip it up the boards and out for Edstrom. Edstrom bumped off it, but got it across. Sent in deep by David Bauer. And Bauer gives chase, recovers the puck, trying to center. Broken up by Lakinen. Lakinen in the near corner, can't flip it out. And the net off, so that brings a stoppage in play as the Royals were circling and ready to head back in.
Yeah, and again, they've done a good job of putting pressure. Argyros has come up with a couple of nice saves. And he's had to, as you mentioned, being outshot now 7-4 at Coon Rapids.
Grudem off the draw, pushed it toward the net, cleared to the side by Alec Erickson. Played around to George. George sends it back behind, hit the official. Centering attempt didn't make it out front. Tyler George has it for the Cardinals. Off the boards for Crosby. Crosby will send it back in deep. George on the far side, tying up with Tim. Tim comes away with the puck, but then has his stick bumped out of his hands. Played ahead for Crosby. Crosby trying to center as he had Pieri driving the slot. Sent back in deep. Crosby trying to center. That hit escape. Came right back to him. Near corner now. Crosby up top for George. George sidesteps. Little backhand is knocked down. And now played ahead. Just out of the reach of Grudem and turned around by Nicholas. Royals able to get it in deep. Turning behind his own net is Erickson. Pass ahead for Michael Crosby. Crosby will send it in. And the Cardinals will get a line change as Levis brings it up the near wing. Long shot in, shouldered away by the Cardinal netminder. Recovered in the corner by McKenna. McKenna ran into Levis and ran him over. Matt Ammon has the puck behind the net, plays it up the near side. Ball can't get it out. Ammon again with it in the corner. Sends it ahead for Ball. It got under his stick, kept in at the blue line by Nelson. Centering attempt. Nelson again keeps it in. Didn't get anything on the shot. Here's another breakaway opportunity. This time it's Ball firing wide. Has a good back check from Ben Johnson, applied some pressure.
He had to reach back and get that puck, allowing the defender to at least come up and applying some trouble to him.
Johnson across the line, quick snapshot, may have been going wide, but it's gloved and held by Argyros with 6:55 to play first period.
Always better to make sure you glove that puck if it hits the board and comes back out in front. Want to avoid that situation. So Argyros doing a nice job just making sure he gloved it and forcing that face-off to his left.
Another face-off win for Rogers. They feed it back to the point. Played in deep by Bauer. Behind the net is Lackinen. Lackinen spins away from the pressure but lost the puck. Centering attempt. Comes out to Bauer through traffic. Kicked away by Argyros. Played out to Becker at the point. Becker plays it toward the front. Knocked down and cleared to the boards where Becker will recover. Becker top of the circle. Looking for some help. Drops it back. A blast but a save by Argyros. And a good job by Lackinen tying up as Luke Edstrom was there looking for the rebound.
Yeah, and
that allowed Argyros to get out and cover it.
And that rebound did come out to him, but you're right. Good job by your defenseman tying him up. You're going to see here, big slap shot, and the rebound's coming up. A nice job out in front, making sure you cover him up. A little weak shot to the net, and Argyros able to pull it in.
Off the draw, it's George in the corner, dropping it back. Intercepted an opportunity and another big save for Argyros, making it 2 in a row. And now George able to play it off the glass and around to the near corner where Cole Nicholas can get it. Play it ahead. Crosby couldn't catch it, but it gets out to center. Becker sends it back in the zone for Rogers. Nicholas tripped up, and the first penalty of the game is going to put the Cardinals on the power play, already up 2-0.
Coach Mo, you talked about, we're trying to work things in. It's a first game of the year. We haven't had a lot of time to work on our power play or our penalty kill. So an opportunity now for the Cardinals to see what they can do with the extra skater.
Nicholas still settling the bouncing puck, able to get it past Grudem, and Grudem gets the stick tangled up in his skates. He goes down, and that draws the first whistle for an infraction. Tie up along the near boards off the draw. Crosby battling with Becker, pulled free by Pieri, walking out, tried to go upstairs, and it was stopped up by Johnston. Rogers able to clear, retreating for it as Ammon plays it behind, and that had to be sticked away by Argyros. Good pressure shorthanded from Dylan Tim all alone. Crosby cutting across, gets it ahead for George. George will get it into the zone. Leave it off for Van Holzen, across for Pieri, just out of his reach. He'll poke it back to Ammon now. Ammon down low for Tyler George in the corner, trying to find Van Holzen creeping in the top of the slot. Van Holzen out front, and George couldn't get his stick on it. Crosby will shoot, and the glove saved by Johnston. He'll cover up.
Carlos doing a nice job working the puck around and getting that shot in on net, but minute 3 left on their skater advantage. There's Red, always in the house, #1 fan. Red's enjoying the action, as always.
Off the face-off. Ball able to keep him from clearing. And now a good stop at the line by Lackinen. Down low to Ball. Ball out front, and a fan on the one-time opportunity for Duncan McKenna.
Yeah, nice feed to McKenna. He just couldn't get the...
Again, Lackinen keeps it in at the blue line, plays it across. A blast off the post, a rebound chance, and that's turned away as Ball was right there looking for the payday. Puck forced out of the zone finally for Rogers. Lackinen will just float it in behind the net. Kept in on the far side by Erickson. Rogers able to force it right back out. Here's Lackinen. He'll fire it in again. Coon Rapids going to get a line change. The penalty to Grudem is over, so we're back to full strength.
Well, they had a couple of chances. Being outshot now 14-7.
That pass just tipped out to center by Fladibo, chased down by Becker, and now Bauer, and back to Becker, working through the middle of the ice. Becker along the left board will stop up in the corner. Pressured there by Erickson. He's able to get it out to the point now. Shot by Harbor is stopped up and held by Argyros. 3:19 left in the first.
Well, so far, Coach Mo has to be pretty pleased. I'm sure there's some things that he'll talk to us about, hopefully between periods. I'm pretty pleased with this first period, with a little over 3 minutes left.
Nicholas gets it out to center. Bauer can't get it back in, and now flipped in deep by Simonson. Grudem on the near boards, makes a move. Swept off his stick by Tyler Fladibo. Becker across for Bauer. Bauer ahead. Tim in the zone. Tried to toe drag. Lost the handle. Nicholas comes away with it. Head for Derek Knapp. His pass too far for Fladibo and played back out of the zone by Johnston. Nicholas can't slip past, but there's a pass that gets to George, and rolling puck may have really benefited Rogers right there, because Crosby may have been in on another breakaway along with Tyler George in his back pocket.
Yeah, again, they had some offense there working for him. Johnston, the face-off to his left.
Flip toward the front of the net by Pieri off the draw, but Royals able to get it out to center. Stopped up by Crosby and poked back into the zone. Near side now for it. Logan Bolster, who will dump it in deep and around. Opportunity in close for Bolster. Argyros made the save. Didn't know where it was, but it was on the side of the cage. George's cross ice pass doesn't click, but it is behind the defenseman, and so is Michael Crosby. Backhander deflected up and out of play. And we'll have another offensive zone face-off for Coon Rapids with a little less than 2 minutes left in the first.
Yeah, again, a dangerous situation for Rogers, letting Crosby in behind the defense. You see it again here, but nice job getting a stick on the puck.
Off the draw, the shot by Caden Anderson was deflected. Johnston didn't have a lot to deal with. There's a quick shot. That one didn't make it through. That one did, though. Second chance opportunity for Wyatt Ball, and Ball has it back in the near corner. Tried to cut back, had it stripped away by Bauer. Becker moves it across for Schmidt, and Schmidt will get it to the red line and dump it in and around. Edstrom got it back to Schmidt. Schmidt trying to come out on the backhand and kind of rolled up and went on the side of the net out to the point. Bauer a wrist shot. That misses wide. Becker will hold it in on the far side. Down low, Edstrom was spun around. This will be kept in as well as Bauer steps in. Centering pass and a chance right on the doorstep, and Argyros answers the call.
Yeah, the Royal team pounding at the puck, trying to get it past Argyros, and he's doing a good job of just being tall, standing tall, and falling on that puck. Make sure he forces the face-off. Gets a little chippy again. Obviously, you're protecting your goaltender.
Yeah, the Cardinal, that's not chippy. This absolutely has to be done.
No,
right here.
I agree, but after the fact.
Absolutely has to be done right there.
Well, I understand that. You got to protect your goaltender.
Kept in at the line. The blast is wide for Streeter. Sending it back in deep was Ben Johnson on the near blue line. Poke free by Pieri. He stops up behind the net and will skate. Trying to get it to Crosby. It's taken away by Grudem. Grudem has it poked off his stick by George. Sent back into the zone by Rogers. Unable to clear is Erickson. Now he does. And the Royals will regather at their own blue line. And Holzen plays it off the board, and now sent right back in deep by Streeter. Erickson for Van Holzen. Van Holzen ahead for Crosby. Crosby will take it back behind the net. Look up ice and now float one out to center that bounces up and over the stick of Streeter, and he has to chase it all the way back to his zone. As the buzzer sounds, the Cardinals will go to the locker room with a 2-0 lead. Goals by Crosby and Simonson have them off to the start they wanted. We'll take a break and be back with coach reaction right after this on CTN.
This is my kingdom come. This is my kingdom come.
Hi, I'm Ryan Nagasu, 2010 Olympian and bronze medal winner of the 2014 U.S. Championships. I knew I loved skating at the age of 5, and now it's become my life passion. Find your skating passion at the Coon Rapids Ice Center. Classes are available all year round. It could be the place where your skating dreams come true. See you on ice.
Back at the Coon Rapids Ice Center, the Cardinals a 2-0 lead as we reach the first break of the season opener. Joined now by head coach Steve Moe. And coach, it's got to feel good to have that lead going to the locker room for the first time.
Yeah, it was nice that we were able to take advantage of some opportunities. Obviously, there's some things that we need to be a little more tighter on, especially in our defensive zone. But we definitely will be proud of two goals up here going after one.
Well, Coach, you told me you had just really a limited opportunity to work on that power play. I thought you had a couple of nice opportunities. Couldn't get the puck in the back of the net, but you got to feel pretty good on that first power play opportunity.
Yeah, even with the limited time, I think our puck movement was pretty good. Usually our player movement's pretty good with it, so we've been doing a lot of small games to help their creativity out, and I think it showed there in the power play.
A nice job by your goaltender to start. You don't want him to have that much pressure moving forward. What do you do to try and break the zone a little easier?
Well, we started playing our position, started playing defensive zone and the structure in which it's supposed to be run. Weak side guys are not in the center of the ice, and they're not becoming an option when we dirt turn the puck over. We're not hitting and pinning with authority, and we're not pinching down as a unit. So if we're not playing as a unit in the defensive zone, it's going to be real tough for us. But there'll be some small cues to give them, and hopefully we can pick up on that aspect of our game.
All right, well, congratulations on the 2-0 lead. Good luck the rest of the way. We'll take a break, be back with first period stats and highlights right after this.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
First period of the season is in the books. It was a good one for the Coon Rapids Cardinals. They were heavily outshot 2-1 in that period, but not outscored. They have a 2-0 lead as we reach this break.
Yeah, Coach Moe seems to be fairly happy. There are some things obviously they're going to work on, but happy with that first period as they build forward.
Yeah, you certainly want to try and keep from giving up 18 shots on your goaltender per period, but Argyros did very well. A number of those were good quality opportunities in close to the net, and Argyros able to shut them all down. The Cardinals got the goal on a sneaky little play. Michael Crosby came off the bench on a line change, and nobody picked him up. George found it behind him, and then Simonson added to it at 6:41 off of a face-off. And as we talked about, Argyros had some stress, but handled it well. And 18 saves in period number one for the Cardinal keeper.
Yeah, the thing with the Royal squad, the Rogers team, they know that they've had opportunities in that first period. That's something that they want to build on as they continue forward as well. As you mentioned, being outshot 18-9 in that first period, that's something that they'll build on to see if they can continue to get those shots. We saw that junior varsity game, Rogers having a lot of shots on goal. on the Coon Rapids varsity squad. There you see the stats. 9 shots on goal for Coon Rapids, 18 shots for Rogers, but the one that matters most, the 2 that found the back of the net for Coon Rapids.
Well, the Cardinals actually 0 for 1 on the power play in that first period. They had 3 shots with the advantage, and actually their best opportunity to score was not one that ended up being a shot on that power play, a backdoor one-time opportunity that was fanned upon. But they, regardless, have the 2-0 lead as we get set for the second period. We'll step away and be back with more. You're watching live high school hockey on CTN.
I'm a single mother, and I was the main one working, so I never thought that I could go back to school, you know. My sister, my mother, everybody wanted to help me with my kids. I could not have gotten my diploma without my family.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Just about ready to get the second period underway. Coon Rapids a 2-0 lead over Rogers. The Royals, after opening the season with a 4-1 loss against Anoka, looking for more offense. Well, they put plenty of pressure on the Coon Rapids net in that first period, just weren't able to find the answer to Andrew Argyros.
Yeah, Argyros did have a really nice first period, and he really had to, because they pressured him, and they had their opportunities. They just couldn't find that back of the net. We'll see as they come out here in period number 2 if they can continue to try and apply that kind of pressure.
And you heard Coach Mo talk about it. If they can make some adjustments and shore some things up in the defensive end, hopefully they won't spend quite as much time down there.
Yep, and that's what they're looking to do here in period number 2. But always nice to come back on the ice with a 2-goal lead. We're getting ready to drop the puck.
Coon Rapids able to win the opening draw here in the second period. Pass tipped along by Pieri into the zone. Bauer turns it right back out. Here's Tim coming in. His shot deflected up and out of play as Van Holzen was there on the back check.
Yeah, there, get a piece of that puck. Make sure he didn't get a shot on goal.
Boy, Grudem likes to jump the face off. This time he stayed on his skates. Got a little backhand right off the draw, and Argyros handled it, but it was a scary looking one the way it came up and over him. Cardinals able to break the zone. Bauer sends it right back in. No icing. Tim able to forecheck and take it away from Van Holzen. Continues to stay with it into the far corner. Try to get back down low, and penalty coming up. It's going to be a cross check against Rogers, and the Cardinals going to go back on the power play. And this is one I'm not sure who it was. Beecham, they're going to call him for the high stick, and here's where it is. As Peary comes in, he's got the hands up. He's the bigger kid. He was going to win the hit, but extend those arms, you're almost always going to get the penalty. So just 48 seconds into the period, the Cardinals on the power play.
Well, Coach Mo talked about that first opportunity. He liked what was going on there, just couldn't get the opportunity to score. We'll see what they can do here on their second try.
Rogers able to clear it the length. Argyros will wing it around, waiting for it. There is Ball, and now ahead for Anderson, who flips it in on the backhand. Lockinen giving chase, but can't come away with the biscuit. Rogers gets a hold of it, trying to clear, stopped up, but it does skip out of the zone. Back in, Becker. His pass deflected by Ball, recovered by Bauer. Bauer back to Becker in the far corner, and Becker will send it 200 feet down ice. Jaros will leave it there for Erickson. Around for Lackinen, far side. Flips it ahead, out of the reach of Crosby, and just sent back in by Ryan Streeter. Lackinen passes behind Pieri and out to center, and it's sent right back in by Luke Nelson. Lackinen avoids the pressure from Tim. Here comes Tim again. Lackinen now to Crosby along the near boards. Crosby out of the reach of Grudem. Carry in deep and around behind the net. Back out front, skipped off the stick of Tyler George. Ammon comes onto it, but they're going to call George for interference, saying once he missed that one, he held off the Rogers player. And we're going to play some 4-on-4 hockey, and then Rogers will have an abbreviated power play.
And not a lot of success on that power play for Coon Rapids. Credit Rogers doing a good job of keeping the puck away, but
yeah, if he doesn't reach out with that right arm and just skate straight, he might be able to get away with that. But you reach your arm out and hook it around like that, and they're going to call it. Rapids able to win the draw. Poked free, though, by Jensen. He lost the handle. Crosby can't come away with it. Jensen fires it wide back into the corner. Bauer pokes it back in on the backhand and gives chase. He's hit hard by Ammon behind the net. Ammon comes away with the puck for the Cardinals. Ahead for Crosby, and now Rogers on the power play. Crosby shorthanded into the zone. Will skate wide. Tried to drop it off, but instead, it's Becker going back the other way, leading a 3-on-2 at the blue line. Becker will flip it at the net, and it's handled easily by Argyros.
Well, you see now minute 20 on the power play now for Rogers. First opportunity for us tonight to see their power play unit. Big hit by him in there behind the net.
Extend the arms a little bit, but kept the stick down. Loose puck finally swept out of the zone and all the way down by Derek Knapp. Johnston will leave it there for Becker. Becker behind his own net. Ahead, circling back to his own blue line is Jensen. Jensen with speed at the blue line, sends it in. Easy stick save for Argyros. Getting hold of it and getting it out of the zone is Alec Erickson. Retreating just onto his side of the red line is Becker. Becker will spin and now bring it into the zone. Tipped off his stick. Clearing attempt fails. Bolster to Becker. And now Grudem. Grudem through the top of the slot. Down low. Beecham from a low angle. And the save made by Argyros. Net comes off, as Argyros made sure he was nice and tight to the metal.
So far, Rogers with a 3-1 shots on goal advantage here to start this second period. Good crowd tonight.
25 seconds remaining on the advantage for Rogers, and Caden Anderson was upended, but he was able to clear it the length of the ice. Puck played ahead, got away, and Ammon steps up on the rush and then overskated the puck. Becker gets it back for Grudem. Grudem into the zone. Steps up, his shot deflected wide by Van Holzen and then played around behind as the penalty to Tyler George is over. Fresh out of the box, he comes with speed down the near boards. Poked away from him by Schaefer. He chases into the near side. Kept in at the line by Nicholas. Can't avoid Becker. Becker will step up and lay the rush for Rogers. Snapshot misses wide off the glass, comes back to Becker. Becker will try to dump it back in the corner, and it's sent back out by Van Holzen. Here's Crosby looking for help. Crosby had it tipped off his stick, plays it out front. George can't get a hold of it. And right there to defend was Edstrom. It's played into the corner and then out to the point where it's kept in by Erickson. Centering attempt. Pierre had to battle through a stick check to get control. Still going after it, comes away with it, tried to center. Here's Crosby, a backhand, and Johnston got a pad on it as he slid across. Kept in by Erickson again, can't keep it the second time. It comes out to Cole Nicholas, and Nicholas will step up. Nicholas trying to drag it through the feet on Luke Nelson, and Nelson shut the door. Here's Crosby on the turnover, back into the zone. Crosby had it poked away and then still had a good chance in close on Johnston. Crosby behind the net, back out to Peary, and he fanned on it. Well defended as Rogers recovered at the last second. Here's Peary walking in, backhand pass across, trying to set up the tap in for McKenna, and now chipped out of the zone by Becker. Levis had it knocked away. Schmidt had it knocked off his stick as well. Crosby ahead for McKenna. He lost the handle. Going back the other way is Nelson. He'll leave it for Levis. Levis walking in. Moves. This shot is wide. The net comes off again as it was both Levis and Erickson who crashed into the far post. Levis actually burnt Argyros and then just couldn't fire it home. And the trailing player had to look at a wide open net and missed wide.
Best chance so far for Rogers, I think, here tonight. A good job of creating.
The opportunity at the other end, little backhand back to where it came from for Michael Crosby. And there's McKenna, just couldn't get his stick on it, kind of handcuffed him in close to the skates a little bit.
And here's that breakaway opportunity. No, I guess not.
Off the face-off is shot and saved in the shoulder area of Argyros.
That's now the 24th shot on goal here tonight. 6th of this period for Rogers. Again, we talked about the pressure they applied in that first period, looking to do so here in period number 2.
Coon Rapids able to win the draw this time. Charging to the other end is Fladivo. He'll play it in deep. Johnston flips it behind and right past his player. Gave a golden opportunity to Knapp, but Knapp wasn't able to feed it out front. Rogers breaking up the far wing. Grudem through center. Now just play it in deep as he's bumped along the boards by Knapp. Poked at by Lackinen. Comes free to the point. Played in on Argyros, trying to cover, and now finally does.
Got left up in front of that net. Argyros not able to control it at first, but fortunately able to bring it in. There's a couple of blue jerseys camped out right in front of him.
Hammond off the draw, flips it up and out of the zone. Icing waved off, recovered by Ben Johnson for Rogers. Ahead to the near side for Schaefer. Schaefer into the zone, carries on the backhand, tried to get it out front. Van Holzen got hooked up with the official.
That puck just bounced up and right to Argyros.
Van Holzen just, that's the wrong body to play. It's good to play the body and carry the body with you, but not the one in stripes.
No.
Cardinals break to center. Van Holzen sends it in deep. Tied up behind the net. Taken there by Ball. He's tied up. McKenna circling top of the circles, lost the handle, and Schmidt going the other way for Rogers. McKenna able to back check, strip it off his stick, now pushed ahead by Schaefer. Schaefer taken to the boards by Van Holzen. Scrum in the corner now, 4 players strong. Amma the 5th one in, he'll come away with the puck. Taps it ahead for McKenna. And out of Ball one-on-one, trying to get around the corner. Well defended there by Streeter. Streeter taken into the boards. Amma shot to goal! As he was going down, he found the top shelf and puts the Cardinals on top by 3.
I'm not sure Johnston figured that he was going to take that shot. It just went right over his shoulder. And you're being outshot 25-10 at that point, but you're leading this contest by a score of 3-0. A nice job by Ammon, as you mentioned, as he was going down.
Just comes to him, and he just takes it. And I think there was a screen there, and he gets hit by Schmidt. I don't know if, yeah, his defenseman right in front of him. But that's one I'm sure he wishes he had back. He didn't think that it had that lock.
Look at his reaction afterwards. It's great. He looks up at his fellow students, go, I'll take it.
He was just trying to play it toward the net. He found the top shelf. It was a good shot. Derek Knapp forcing the action. Can't get it away from Becker. Turned around nicely. Here's Levis into the zone. His shot deflected and ends up wide. Sorry, that was Jensen. Levis plays it back to the point for Bauer. Cardinals able to recover, play back behind and through to Knapp to center. He's taken off the puck by Becker at the red line. Bauer lost it in his skates, bumped off it, turned around. Here's Crosby behind the defense again. Crosby is shot at goal, his second, and once again, coming off the bench on a line change. The defenseman for Rogers not having their head on a swivel, and the Cardinals able to find him.
Well, he didn't hesitate one bit and just released that puck. You're going to see it again, getting behind that defense, coming off the bench, and he's just going to flip the wrist shot past Johnston to find the back of the net for a 4-0 lead for Coon Rapids. And that was a nice goal by Michael Crosby. Erickson with the assist.
Tim could not keep himself on side. Rogers looking to respond. They have really controlled the action. They've put a ton of pressure on, but Coon Rapids taking advantage of their opportunities and doing so nicely. And here's Michael Crosby again, right off the draw, flips it in and gives chase. Streeter around behind, his pass broken up by Peary. To Crosby out front, poked away by Johnston. That shot is blocked and now swept back in deep by Erickson. A wraparound and a goal for Tyler George.
Yeah,
and the Cardinals are running it up, a 5-0 lead.
Johnston was on the ice at the opposite side of the net. Tyler George saw that, did a nice job of going around the net, wrapping it around, as you mentioned, getting the goal. The 5-0 lead for Coon Rapids. Watch again, you're going to see Johnston went down, but not quick enough, as George is going to wrap around and put that puck into the net.
Johnston's stick got caught up with his own defenseman. That's why he was late, so far out. Yep. Watch his stick. He swept at it, and then his stick got caught up with his defenseman. That kept him from getting back across, and George makes him pay. We've got a timeout by Rogers.
We actually have a new goaltender.
I was just going to say that.
Patrick Leffler.
And I did not see if he came in.
He just came in at that last play, because I saw him, I saw the goalie skate out. I didn't know. I thought that maybe Johnston went to the bench for a second, but yeah, he just came in.
Yeah, that makes sense. Johnston, those last couple, or are ones, again, that he's going to want to have back. The tough bounce when you sweep at the puck and then your stick gets caught up in your defenseman.
Not much you can do about that.
But the shot from Ammon, that's one he would like to have back.
Yep.
And not a surprising change when you're trailing by 5 here midway through the second period. So Leffler will take over. 7:31 to go in the second period, and Cardinals on top by 5. Off the draw, Becker gets it into the zone. Ammon stopped him up. A shot from the point hit traffic. Cross-ice pass attempt by McKenna didn't go. Now back to Van Hulsen. He fanned on the pass. Grudem turns it around. Gets it back ahead for Dylan Tim. Recovers it in the corner. Pinch there by Ammon. Back the other way comes Wyatt Ball. Ball ridden off it by Grudem and dumped as he enters the zone, but able to get it in deep. Bauer harassed in the corner. Comes loose to Van Hulsen at the point. Van Hulsen trying to play it out front. And this is going to be a knee penalty? Or we're going to have a cross check. There's a couple of physical plays there. Looked like Van Hulsen taken down with a knee. But it's going to be a Rogers penalty, and it's going to be against Becker. Mitch Becker has been one of the biggest impact players on the ice for either team so far tonight, although his team trails. He's had the puck a lot, and he's really driven a lot of things for Rogers. And now he'll step off for cross-checking. Cardinals' last power play pretty ineffective.
Yes.
Crosby, a goal! Walking out of the corner, he's got the hat.
Yeah, it didn't take him long on that power play to score. As you mentioned, not effective. Well, it was effective there, as they're able to increase that lead to 6-0. Hat trick for Michael Crosby. We talked about him in the beginning of the show, Joe. You called it. He's one of those players that must contribute this season offensively, and boy, he's off to a nice start.
Yeah, and his dad's outside. His stepdad's outside reffing a game.
Won't be able to see. Oh, you can watch it. You can watch the replay on CTN or on YouTube.
Talked to him a little bit before the game. Said, "You're not reffing the game, are you?" He said, "No, He said, "I got a game outside." He said, I thought I had made sure that I didn't have to work on opener, but." And after this performance, Michael may ask him, "Hey, you know what? Maybe you should always be reffing a game outside when we're playing." Rogers able to break it out to center. Tipped away by Lackinen. Will flip in on Argyros, and he's able to snag it with the glove as Jensen redirected that at the last second. Argyros stays right with it.
Just got a text from Brandon Rickert. He's up in Cambridge. The girls' basketball team was playing there tonight. They're ahead 32-22 at the break. Nice to hear.
That's good stuff.
Good stuff.
Another face-off win in the offensive end for Rogers. The shot missing wide for Johnson. Kept in on the far side by Nelson. Tied up along the boards. Finally kick free, comes behind the net where Schmidt gets to it first. Tried to center, that's in the skates though of Erickson. Erickson now recovers. To the line but not out. Johnson shot, tipped and goes wide. Another opportunity, that's off the side of the cage. And Schmidt recovers in the corner. Schmidt on the backhand is saved. Rebound loose. Played now to the corner. Erickson can't clear. Schmidt pushes it back behind. Stays with it. Runs over Fladibo. Puck is underneath him somewhere, and that'll draw the whistle.
5:12 remaining in period number 2. Coon Rapids with a 6-0 lead over Rogers. They're being outshot by a 2-1 margin, 28-14, but 6 of those 14 shots have found the back of the net.
Well, 3 goals in a matter of 80 seconds for the Cardinals.
That'll build a lead for you.
Matter of fact, it'll double your lead.
Yes.
Off the draw, Beecham fires, rolling puck, ends up wide. And Beecham sealed off. Ammon moving it, unable to control, was ball, played back in deep. Grudem had it tipped off his stick. McKenna getting it back to Anderson. Anderson tried to get it ahead, stopped up by Bauer before it could get into the zone. Ammon able to send it in deep. Stopped up behind the net by Leffler. Swung back around to the near side where Beecham waits. His pass tipped. Van Holzen will carry out of the zone. Slowed there by Tim and now sent back into the zone by Beecham. Turning with it is Ammon. Gets it ahead. Van Holzen tied up. Loose puck taken by Ammon. Ammon will skate to center and now flip it. And it'll go all the way down. Bauer touched, so no icing. Levis flips it out of the zone, and here's Bolster sending it out front, but in too tight, and it's scooped up by Argyros.
Yeah, George took a shot into the boards. He's smiling though. He's a strong young man.
Big hit right here.
Yeah.
Crosby came in to deliver the hit, and instead on the receiving end from the bigger Luke Bolster, or Logan Bolster. Schaefer able to win the draw for Rogers. Becker at the point, sends it out front, redirected wide by Schaefer. Battle behind the net. George comes in and takes control. Sent ahead, Kirby Pieri. Pieri trying to go around Bauer, will leave it off. Sent toward the net, touched there by Crosby. And now taken away by Pieri. Furthered around by Tyler George, stopped up by Crosby. Pieri trying to tie up Becker. Becker flips it, gets it out. And now played across to Schmidt. Schmidt into the zone where his shot, glove saved. And a face-off with 3:02 to play here in the second.
Rogers doing all they can to apply pressure in on Argyros.
Well, he'll take these shots all day long.
No question. Those are the ones, easy
from
ones.
75 feet away.
Yep. Right,
nobody in front of him. But he has faced a lot from in close. Good opportunities for Rogers. They are very close to having this be the other way. Could have easily gone the other way.
No question about it. I mean, Argyros has played so well here tonight, doing a good job of making sure he kept the puck out of net no matter what the pressure has been. 30 shots on net so far for Rogers here, with a little over 2.5 minutes remaining in period number 2.
Cross ice pass, nobody home, comes back out to center, and Rogers regrouping in their own end. Pass a little bit behind Grudem, and now sent in deep by Beecham. Cole Nicholas behind his own net. Move it along. Tried a little give and go there for Fladibo, but too far in front of him. Fladibo kicks that pass attempt back into the Rogers zone, and this one too far. Turned around by Nicholas, and now here comes Ben Johnson. Leaves it off. Dillon's shot is blocked by Nicholas, and another. And this may be a penalty shot. No, they're just going to give him the hold. But yeah, again, Cardinals coming off of the bench, and Rogers not actively watching the line changes. They get burnt with ball behind the defense again, and kind of a penalty that Nelson had to take here.
Absolutely.
Just grabbed him and wrapped him up. Wasn't really what he's going for, but better than giving him that breakaway.
Well, you think Rogers, would look for that at this point in the game. Coon Rapids been successful.
Well, the Cardinals able to score quickly their last power play. Trying to get it out front, but can't. Ammon with it, flips it up and over, glove down, and it's close enough for Leffler to cover it up.
Now, that was a good way to get it up and over. Give your players an opportunity in front of the net. Minute 42 on the power play, a minute 46 on the clock left in here, period number 2.
Anderson ties up on the draw, comes loose. Bauer a backhand. Ammon can't stop it up. Tip back to him by Van Holzen. Ammon will send it in deep. Bauer, first one there for Rogers, will send it around. Van Holzen can't stop it up this time, and he'll get it back from Ammon. Pressured there and sent back in deep by Jake Jensen. Ammon behind his own net. Will turn and bring it up ice. Passing the skates of Wyatt Ball. Comes back to Ammon. Ammon into the zone. Across the blue line, leaves it off for Van Holzen. Van Holzen sending it across. Nobody could get a stick to it. Pieri battling for it. He's tied up. Kept in at the line by Lackinen. Here's Pieri walking in. His shot and a blocker save by Leffler. And I think Pieri was shocked as he came around the corner and nobody stepped up to take him. He just kept walking in down the slot and almost to the hash marks before letting go with the wrist shot. But a strong blocker from Leffler. Pieri pushed out of the dot. Crosby will take over to face off against Grudem. Wins the draw, back to the point. Sent across. And now back for Drew Erickson. He'll send it into the corner. Schmidt tied up there by Pieri. George comes over, gets it out to Erickson. His shot stopped up before it got to the net and cleared out of the zone by Ryan Streeter. And we're going to get a penalty on Pieri for holding. Behind the play on the power play, that's one you really don't want to take.
No, definitely not. You know, you got 28 seconds left in this second period. And Rogers certainly would like to see if they can get a tally here before the break between second and third.
Both number 24s boxed up. Shot, save, rebound tipped away as Bauer was coming in. It looked juicy, but Erickson able to get a stick to it and just make sure he couldn't put it into that open net. Nelson will get out of the box here with just a couple seconds left in the period. So a quick power play now for Rogers, but they will have 1:33 remaining on the advantage when we start the third period. And their backs are against the wall. Coon Rapids with 4 goals in that middle period. They have a 6-0 lead as we go to the third.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Back at the Coon Rapids Ice Center. Coon Rapids a 6-0 lead over at the Rogers Royals as we hit the second intermission. We're joined now by Rogers head coach Todd Wiesjohn. And coach, you've done everything needed, but just unable to bury it. What do you do to change that in the third?
Well, we try to keep doing some of the same things that were puck possession, getting pucks deep, trying to get pucks on the net, and battle in front for some rebounds.
you're out shooting them a little more than 2-1, and you've had those chances. You know, Coon Rapids have had some good opportunities, and again, you talk to your guys between periods, and I know you'll want to make some adjustments as you go out on the ice for the third.
Well, yeah, you know, Coon Rapids is burying every chance that they got. They have 6 on the board and probably had 8 scoring chances. So, you know, they're doing what they need to do, and we just haven't found a way to get pucks through. They're playing pretty good defense. They're keeping us on the perimeter, and we're just having a hard time, you know, getting a second chance, getting pucks through, and capitalizing on the things that we have.
Early on, hard, you know, just 1 goal in the season opener and still shut out here tonight. What is your message to the guys to keep them from getting down as far as getting that offense going?
Yeah, you know, that's been kind of our issue. Over the summer we worked on it. We knew that we didn't return a lot of goal scoring, and so what we've been trying to do is just find ways and, you know, celebrate those goals that we get in practice, and hopefully, you know, we have 5 periods of play and only 1 goal. We just need a few guys to step up. We just didn't return a lot of players. We got a real young team with very limited varsity experience, and, you know, once we get 1, hopefully we can get 2 and get back into this game.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. Good luck in the third period. We'll take another short break, and we will come back with second period stats and highlights right after this.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Back at the Crick, and a very happy home crowd through 2 periods. They had plenty to cheer for. Most of the action at the other end, but none of the scoring. Cardinals lit the lamp 4 times on 6 shots in the second period. Matt Ammon just trying to put that one on net, and then it was just 28 seconds later that Michael Crosby got his second of the game on a breakaway, and then about a minute later, it was Tyler George on the wraparound. And then just to add to it, Michael Crosby coming out of the corner on the power play gets the hat trick.
Yeah, I mean, everything's been going Coon Rapids' way here through 2 periods.
Yeah, you heard Coach Wiesjohn. They've had like 8 scoring chances, and they've scored 6 times.
Right. I mean, how often, obviously, does that happen? But, you know, you couldn't ask for a better start to the season with the offensive production. Like a little more shots on goal if you're Coon Rapids or Coach Mo, but you got to be pretty happy as you look at 31 to 15 shots on goal in Rogers' favor. But, again, go back to that top right corner, 6 goals for the Cardinals. Gives them this big lead going into the third.
And definitely, you know, Coach Wiesjohn was right. The Cardinals have been holding them outside. Yep. A lot of these shots have come from the outside, but they have had a number of good chances in close. Argyros has been tested, and he has looked rock solid. He has not looked rattled at all with pressure in front of him, with a lot of bodies and the puck bouncing around. And he has stayed tall, and so far, a perfect night.
And you can see the frustration in some of the Rogers players. You know, they've got 31 shots on goal and no scoring to show for it. So you can see that, and they hope to come back in this third period. Whether they can come back enough to win this game, they just want to get on the board.
Well, yeah, they definitely want to get something positive to come out of this game. For the Cardinals, they want to keep it rolling just the way it is. A great period for them. Again, outshot a little bit more than they would have liked, but not outscored. The Cardinals have a 6-0 lead and a third period to play. It's coming up next on CTN.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Michael Crosby, a hat trick to start the season. He leads the way, 3 of Cardinals' 6 goals. But another 17 minutes to play, and the Cardinals have 1:33 to kill on the penalty to start the period.
And you saw the big smile on his face, well-deserved so far here tonight. And smile for Andrew Argyros, another well-deserved so far here through 2 periods.
Doing a little dance, having a little fun.
Getting limbered up, getting ready.
It's easy to have fun when you're up by a half dozen.
Yeah.
Rogers able to win the draw. Good pressure from Caden Anderson back into the Rogers end. Not going to make it easy for him to get their power play moving up ice. Beecham on the far side, tipped off his stick. Erickson can't get it free from him though. Pass out front, a backhand up and over the net by Grudem. Out to the point, Becker. For Beecham, he'll shoot, miss wide, far side. Jensen up to the top, Becker. Beecham, a shot kicked away by Argyros. Here's Bolster leaving it for Becker. Becker for Grudem, winds, fires, pad save. All the way back out and outside the blue line, and the Royals will be forced to regather at center ice.
I just couldn't keep it in.
Becker with speed around the corner, and then couldn't get back out front to try and jam it home, and ended up going up and over Argyros. Lackinen just denying space, not going to let him get back out front for a great scoring opportunity. Unfortunately, only collides with the goaltender's leg and then the net. And all parties involved were able to get up, and nobody hurt, nobody going strong into the post. It was a nice play. That one in, and Leffler thought that was going wide. And he had his post covered, but it surprised him when it hit it. That one, oh my goodness! That one bounced off the stick up and over Argyros and nearly hopped in. He turned around and just able to cover it up. That would be an awful way for him to give up his first of the year.
Yes, no question about it. You're going to see it here as coming in.
There's nothing on this shot from Edstrom.
Just took a bounce off the heel of the stick.
Well, you want that stick angled enough so that little shot there should just ramp up right into your chest, nice and easy, or you have to get it well wide of the net. That is not what he wanted to do with that puck. Cardinals to center with numbers thrown in by Knapp. It'll come around to the far side, and Hammond not able to keep it in. Six-goal lead means running time for the third period. Roger able to win another face-off. Becker moves it along for Schaefer. Into the zone for Bauer. Bauer trying to center out front, and the shot goes wide for Edstrom, and end up crashing into the net again, and the net comes off. I don't know that it did come off, but there's some refs discussing. And
then a Rogers player shot the puck into the net. at the end of that after everything was stopped. Oh, it doesn't look like it's off to me.
No, I'm wondering if they're saying that. They're calling him in the crease because he was certainly in the crease. And it's a good whistle.
Yeah, he's had it for a long time.
And Schmidt in a step too early. Tyler George had his stick swept out of his hand, and he looked for it, but
yeah, and Rogers out shooting Coon Rapids by 20 shots, down 6-0. Who'd have thunk it?
Nicholas stops up. Nice little move to evade the pressure brought by Jensen, and now Nicholas moving it ahead. Pieri flips it over to George. George gets the red line and dumps it in deep. Good pressure. Crosby comes away with it. Out to George. Top of the circle. A shot misses everything. Odds up in the far corner. Kept in at the far blue line by Ben Hansen. The shot misses wide. Crosby nearly had his fourth. And I don't know if Leffler got a piece of that or if that went off a post, but he had a lot of net to look at.
He really did. And
I'm trying to figure out
not happy
who's
with
wearing,
himself. He wanted to get number 4.
I'm trying to figure out who's wearing number 36 because Ben Hansen is on the bench. He's one of the injured. Yeah, he does. It was the post.
Yep.
Rung it off the post. Leffler may have gotten a piece of it with the blocker, but that's going to be icing as that pass just out of the reach of Kane Beecham.
Well, Coon Rapids will be happy with that all day with this this icing, with the clock running. We're going to see it again. May have gotten a piece of, you mentioned Leffler.
I don't think he did.
I don't know. I think it went underneath.
I think the stick got it. I think the stick by Streeter deflected it just enough to hit the post. Hammond able to keep it in this time. McKenna tripped up in the corner. Ended up with Bauer on top of him. Here's Grudem through center. Grudem hooked, and that's going to send McKenna to the box for a couple of minutes. That one's pretty easy to call.
Yeah. So an opportunity here for Rogers with that extra skater. Try and get on the board as time continues to tick away. Just about to the 10-minute mark remaining in period number 3.
That pass didn't click in the middle. Becker keeps it in. Down low, losing the handle was Grudem. Hammond comes away with it, can't clear. Had his stick chopped, and then he's able to steal it back. Get it on the backhand, and now send it all the way down. Coming around, a shot, a goal! Shorthanded for Derek Knapp.
Well, Loeffler knew that he was in trouble because the way he played that puck, and he had to quickly get from a position where he was playing it to the front of the net. Knapp did a nice job of making him pay. See it again as he's behind it. And he realized he didn't play it the way he wanted it. And Knapp did a nice job of just lifting the puck up and over him.
Well, and as the goaltender, you expect, especially on the power play, you can set it up behind your net and your guy's going to get there first. But yeah, clearly Knapp just took advantage of Rogers being a little bit lazy. And he buried it. It's a shot, Argyros, the save at the other end. Yeah, you can't just be lazy.
No.
And who knows, maybe the defenseman expected Leffler to make a pass rather than leave it behind the net. But
nonetheless,
either way, the miscommunication and leads to another Cardinal goal. That's another shot on the power play. Opportunity off the near side. Turned away by Argyros as well. Cardinals have killed it off again. Centering pass doesn't click. Wyatt Ball with it. Circling back to the corner behind for Erickson. Erickson knocked off it by Johnson. Puck comes free. Bauer is shot, and Argyros will take that in the midsection and hold on for another face-off in the defensive end.
You know, the Royals continuing to put pressure in on the Cardinal net. That young man coming up strong here tonight, aided by 7 goals from his teammates.
7 goals on 17 shots.
It's a pretty good ratio. You could do that every day.
Well, that's not
what you want.
Oh, here's an opportunity. Argyros stuffs it. And there they finally break the goose egg. Sticking with it is Levis. The first chance he had, he got shut down in close somehow, some way. But he gets a second chance and he puts it home.
Well, again, you continue to apply pressure, and that's what he did, and just able to lift that puck up over Argyros. First one, as you mentioned, he did get stopped, but couldn't get that loose puck.
Crosby there just a second late to try and defend. And unfortunately, there will be no shutout for the Cardinal keeper tonight. He has played a heck of a game, and he came up with a tremendous save on the initial shot, but then just could not recover in time to try and stop the second. Shot turned away by Leffler. Crosby with it along the boards, flips it back in on the backhand, and Leffler's going to cover it up. And the Cardinals are fine with every faceoff.
Absolutely. Down in the other end. Yep, no question.
Especially down in the other end.
No question.
Saw what happened off that last faceoff.
Yep.
Beecham pokes it back in behind the net. Streeter there for the Royals. Moves it along for Jensen. Ahead for Grudem. Grudem through center and now into the zone. And took one extra move before the blue line, and Beecham was in offside.
Well, we talked about it just that break. Rogers looking for some score here tonight. Got that first goal. But they're in such a hole with only with running time, just game ticking away from them.
Bouncing around there in the slot in front of Leffler. Royals finally able to get it out of the zone. Played back to Ammon. Pass skips away from Van Holzen. Royals in have to get back onside. Ammon ahead. Deflected along there by Fladibo and back into the zone. But regardless of even if they were able to come out here and get another couple before the end, they've got to be a little concerned about how little scoring. You know, just 2 goals now through their first 6 periods.
No question about it, and that's what Coach Wiesjohn. Well, Coach Wiesjohn said is that, you know, when I talked to him and then again reiterated when we interviewed him, is that lack of scoring. They're looking for some of that scoring, that they've lost some players from last year, some of their scoring. And so far they really haven't figured it out yet in the first couple of games. Long season, though.
Most definitely. Well, they definitely have some nice pieces here for Rogers. Things just didn't go their way in tonight's contest. Bauer, quick wrist shot, gloved by Argyros. 40th shot on goal for the Royals tonight.
Yeah, if you're going to tell a goaltender he's going to face 40 shots and he stops 39 of them, that's pretty good.
Yeah, not many goalies that are going to go, oh man, I couldn't get the shutout. You go, okay, I'll take that.
Yeah.
That's you know.
Nice night's work.
Yeah, oh, most definitely. It's a 97.5% saves, I think. I believe that's right. My math is...
Your Minneapolis math is correct?
Correct.
You didn't even use your calculator. I'm impressed.
No,
you
when it's
did
nice
take
round,
your shoes and socks off.
When it's nice round numbers, it makes it a little easier. Pieri trying to get around the corner on Becker. I have been really impressed with their two defensemen, Becker and Bauer. They are nice players. Grudem's a nice player as well. Beecham's shown flashes. They've got some pieces.
Yep, they do.
I think things. They keep at it the way they did tonight, and their fortunes will change as they move through the season. But Coon Rapids can feel good about this for about the next 4 or 5 hours.
And they got a tough one coming up on Thursday.
Yeah, their schedule is only going to get more difficult for the rest of the season. And they will not be able to rest on this because not many games this year that they're going to get 7 goals on 20 shots.
Correct.
Icing waved off. Argyros can't stop it up behind the net. Good seal there by Alec Erickson, able to push it along. Played to the line and just over. And sent back in deep by Streeter. Hammond picks it up behind his own net for Derek Knapp. His pass intercepted. Walking in is Jensen. A move and a goal.
You get that, you turn the puck over, and Jensen with a nice job of getting Argyros down and then putting the puck behind him.
Why those cross-ice passes through your own zone are so dangerous. Hammond just didn't see Jensen coming in. Jensen gets the steal, walks in alone, and good patience. Good fake to the backhand, got Argyros off balance. Slides it home, and that must be. I'm assuming that is the first varsity goal for sophomore Jake Jensen. They just took the game puck. Oh, another turnover right there, but fortunately this time it comes right back to him. Caden Anderson racing the other way, under a minute remaining now. Beecham trying to get around the corner. Sealed off. Grudem stopped up behind the net by Nicholas. Left back behind for Nicholas. Nicholas ties up there, able to come away with the puck. Move it ahead for Ball. Anderson gets it out. Here's McKenna, a shot that misses wide. That one went up and out of play. And we're back within 5 goals, so clock stops.
Yeah, with about 9 seconds remaining.
Be a long bus ride back to Rogers.
Yeah.
But at least
quiet one, probably.
At least they were able to get a couple. Here's another opportunity with the shot up and wide for Schmidt. And the Cardinals can celebrate a winner in the opener, 7-2 the final.
Yeah, just a nicely played game. As you mentioned, to get 7 goals on 20 shots, not going to happen night in and night out, quite obviously. But they're going to take this one, and they're going to start the season on a winning note.
Well, and to win when you're outshot 2-1.
Yep.
And you spend a large percentage of the game in your defensive end, but you come out on top. Not only do you come out on top, but you come out with a 5-goal victory. That is a very rare occurrence.
No question about it.
So we will take a break. We'll be back with more from the Crick right after this. You're watching live boys high school hockey on CTN.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Back at Coon Rapids Ice Center, the Cardinals, a 7-2 victory in the season opener over the Rogers Royals. A big part of that, a hat trick from Michael Crosby. And Michael, how's it feel?
I mean, it feels pretty good to come out opening night and do that in front of a big crowd. And I felt like we just had a lot of great chemistry built from, the summer and all that in our out-of-town tournament. And we were able to put it all together and bury the puck and find our first win.
Oh, Michael, congratulations. Certainly nice win, nice job on the hat trick. Got to give a lot of credit, too, to your goaltender, Andrew Argyros. You guys were outshot 2-1, but he did a nice job, stopped a lot of good opportunities for Rogers.
Yeah, he had an amazing night. He had a really good week at practice, and last week he was talking about it, and we were making sure that we were giving him good looks and good shots at practice, making sure we were hitting the net, and it kind of helped us, too, on our end. But he had a really good game, and we're looking forward to hopefully having that all season.
Obviously, you want to take a little bit of time to enjoy this, but the road will get more difficult moving forward. Your thoughts on Elk River coming in here on Thursday?
I think we're gonna just have to come out and play a little bit better than we did tonight. I mean, we played well, but it still could be better. We could still come out and play our best Cardinal hockey, and then we can put up and play against Elk River and play with them the whole game as long as we play our Cardinal hockey the whole time.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on a great game and a big win. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the third period. Cardinals had the 6-0 lead coming into the frame. They add one more, and they do it shorthanded. Argyros was busy. Crosby right there, nearly at number 4. There's the goal in the third. Derek Knapp taking advantage of a gift left for him behind the net. Comes around and puts it home, but 2 late goals for Rogers. Jensen getting that one with just over a minute remaining to get the clock to stop. But just a great game all the way around for the Cardinals. A great win to start the season.
Yeah, I mean, you want to start this way to start the new season. And granted, there's always things you can work on. More shots, more shot consistency, obviously, more shots on goals. But you got to take this win, as you said, enjoy it for 4 or 5 hours, then concentrate on Elk River coming here Thursday.
We will concentrate on a little bit of boys basketball because their season opener coming up on Friday night. Cardinals hosting the Forest Lake Rangers, and we will have all the action for you live right here on CTN. On Tuesday next week, we get to see the girls basketball team also hosting Forest Lake, their home opener. They are opening their season tonight in Cambridge Isani. We'll have their home opener for you next Tuesday live at 7 o'clock. But that's going to do it for this edition of CTN Sports. Again, the final score from the Crick. It's Coon Rapids 7, Rogers 2. Want to thank everybody out there for joining us, continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying goodnight.